When you're 20, you think the whole world lies ahead of you. When you're 25, you believe there's still time to try and fail. But when you hit 30, many people suddenly panic because they realize a harsh truth: time waits for no one, and youth doesn't come around twice. Hello everyone, today let's reflect together. When we reach the milestone of 30, what have we really achieved? 1. Age 30, a crucial milestone in life. I still remember one evening sitting in a cafe with an old friend. He used to be a standout student, lively, full of dreams. But at 31, he sat across from me, thin, exhausted, his voice hoarse from sleepless nights. He said, "If only I had wasted less time at 25, if only I had learned to save at 27, if only I hadn't missed those small opportunities, I wouldn't be struggling like this now." Those if only statements might be the most expensive price one pays looking back at their youth. I don't tell this story to scare you. I tell it so you understand one thing: 30 isn't the end, it's just a comma, a turning point, where you must ask yourself, who do I want to become in the next 10 years? Some people at 30 still struggle in a 20-meter rental room, spending every paycheck on pointless drinking sessions. Others have stable jobs, know how to invest, have savings, and live a life full of choices. The difference lies in what you did before turning 30. I'll share with you the 5 most important things you must do, unless you want to look back 10 years from now and be left only with the word regret. These aren't distant theories or hollow philosophies. They're lessons I've witnessed, experienced, and deeply reflected on throughout my youth. 2. Financial independence. There was a young man who graduated with a fairly good degree, not bad compared to the average. He quickly found an office job with a salary of 6 million VND, enough to cover rent, basic food, and save a few $100,000 to buy his girlfriend bubble tea. But after just 3 months, he quit. The reason sounds familiar. Too much pressure, I couldn't handle it. He returned to his hometown, asked his parents for tens of millions more to enroll in wealth building and startup courses. After the courses, he sat at home scrolling the internet, sketching out million-dollar plans without a single dime of capital. Year after year passed. At 29, he was still living off his elderly parents' meager pensions. Sounds absurd, right? But truth is, our society isn't short of people like that. You probably know someone like that. Or worse, you're vaguely starting to see yourself repeating the same cycle. When you're 20, 22, your parents are still willing to support you, to send money for rent and food. But eventually, when you hit 30, you'll feel how painful it is to keep asking for money. You'll notice your dad's graying hair, your mom's hunched back. You'll see them smile through watery porridge saying, "We're still fine." And that's when you'll understand, no one can support you for life. I still vividly remember the day I was 22, carrying my bags, riding the bus to the city to start my internship. My first month's salary was barely 4 million. Rent took 1.5 million. Meals were cut down to cheap street food at £15,000 VND per plate. But I'll never forget the feeling of paying the electricity and water bills for the first time, of covering extra classes on my own, of buying a birthday cake for my mom, with my name on the receipt. It wasn't just money, it was pride. It was freedom. It was a shield against all the whispers of "you're a freeloader." It was also the root of independence, the seed of responsibility. After that, I did every job I could. Interning by day, tutoring by night, waitressing at cafes on weekends, freelancing, translating documents, writing content. Many nights I fell asleep at my desk, with dark circles under my eyes. Was I tired? Absolutely. Did I want to give up? More times than I can count. But then I realized I was exhausted because I was building my own future. There's one thing I want you to engrave in your mind. Making money early isn't for reckless spending. It's to understand the value of every penny earned through your own sweat. When you earn your own money, you'll learn to respect your effort and respect others who are also working hard just like you. I've also spent everything I had. There were months when I blew my paycheck on clothes, shoes, and parties. The result? An empty bank account and a stressed-out mind because I was always short for the next month. But I eventually taught myself how to manage money. I befriended the 6-jar rule. The one everyone knows but few stick to. 50% for necessities, 20% for savings, 10% for investing and learning, 10% for self-reward, 10% for giving or emergencies. Month after month. Small amounts became a solid backup fund. Do you know what true freedom is? It's being able to turn down a toxic job without fearing starvation. It's not having to grovel before a terrible boss just to keep your paycheck. It's being able to take your parents to the best hospital when they're sick, without borrowing from anyone. And you don't have to start with something big. Start financial independence with the smallest actions. Get a part-time job while still in college. Track every expense to see where your money is going. Set a goal to save at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses so when storms hit, you'll survive. A friend of mine, Lynn, 26 years old, office worker, earns $8 million a month. Everyone says, $8 million isn't even enough to eat. How can you save? But Lynn has discipline that's admirable. Every month, she sets aside $2 million into a small investment fund, $1 million for learning new skills, and uses the remaining $5 million for rent and food. 3 years later, Lynn had more than $100 million. And that money was the lifebuoy that gave her the courage to jump to a bigger company with double the salary and a better environment. I'm not telling you to live miserably, to the point of not daring to eat a good bowl of pho. But I'm certain of one thing: if you don't know how to save money, you will always feel like you're lacking. When you're unemployed, sick, or want to do something bigger, you'll regret not preparing in advance. Remember, money is important, but the way you earn and keep money is far more important. Don't just sit there daydreaming about a life-changing deal or a get-rich-quick scheme. Things that come easily go just as easily and often leave serious consequences. Before turning 30, engrave these 4 things into your mind. Know how to earn money. Know how to keep money. Know how to use money to serve your life goals. Know how to say no to emotional clinging and meaningless spending. When you're young, you have time. When you're old, you'll realize how expensive time really is. And the money you earn today, no matter how little, is your insurance ticket for tomorrow's freedom. Ask yourself, if your salary is delayed this month, how long can you survive? If the answer scares you, then it's best not to delay any longer. Change starting today. Don't let yourself reach 30 still looking into your parents' wallets, holding their money with tears of shame in your eyes. 3. Soft skills. Have you ever wondered, why do some people excel academically, graduate with honors, have impressive resumes, but after a few years of working still struggle, drifting from one job to another with no real career progress? Because they're only good at reading books and doing homework, good at solving mock exams and working in group assignments. But when they step into the real world, they're confused, clumsy, not knowing how to communicate so colleagues trust them. Bosses assign them important tasks, or clients open their wallets because they believe in them. I've encountered many cases like that. Let me tell you a true story. A few years ago, I interviewed 2 candidates for the same project management position. Both were fresh graduates with equally impressive resumes, near-perfect scores, and strong language skills. But they were completely different face-to-face. The first one, holding the resume with trembling hands, eyes down at the table, not daring to make eye contact. I asked an open-ended question, and she panicked, answered off topic. I asked again, and she stayed silent. A young person with outstanding academic records, yet unable to express what she wanted to say. The second one, GPA was average, English was not fluent, but he walked in with a smile, a firm handshake, looked me in the eye, answered coherently. Even when a question wasn't clear, he confidently asked back, "Could you clarify this point for me, please?" I liked how he verified the information instead of guessing and answering incorrectly. Can you guess who got the job? I'm sure you know. Because in real work, everyone prefers to work with someone who knows how to listen, ask questions, and respond. A talented person that no one understands, all their efforts go to waste. The harsh truth is, a degree only helps you get past the screening round. Soft skills are the ticket that lets you survive, grow, and be trusted in a work environment. But what's heartbreaking is that many young people still think soft skills are innate personality traits. If someone is naturally sharp, then they're lucky. If someone is shy, then it's just their fate. Absolutely not. I used to be extremely shy. In college, just standing up to speak in front of the class made my hands and legs tremble. In group meetings, I'd rather sit quietly taking notes than challenge ideas I disagreed with. At work, I was scared of talking to my boss, afraid of being questioned, afraid of saying the wrong thing and offending someone. But then I realized, if I kept being scared like that, I'd be stuck with petty tasks and a meager salary. I had to change, or my fears would swallow me whole. I signed up for public speaking courses. I volunteered to be the MC at small group meetings. I took the initiative to meet with clients, even though I stammered at first. The more I faced challenges, the tougher I became. The more I spoke, the more I learned how to speak in ways people wanted to hear. The more I debated, the more I understood when to hold firm and when to let go. Many people think soft skills mean talking a lot or being eloquent. No. Soft skills mean knowing how to speak so teammates understand you, bosses trust you with big tasks, clients believe in you enough to spend money. And sometimes it means knowing when to stay silent to preserve harmony. Ask yourself where you're lacking. Communication. It's not about talking well. It's about talking so others listen and understand clearly. Listening without interrupting, asking questions to clarify, not just nodding along to get it over with. Presentation and delivery. You can't handle big projects if you tremble and stutter in front of 5 to 10 people. Whether you work at a small firm or a large corporation, you'll need to present opinions, give reports, defend ideas. Negotiation and bargaining. Knowing how to reject an unfavorable offer without offending anyone. Knowing how to say no to things that aren't worth your time. Conflict resolution. Working with people will inevitably lead to clashes. Inexperienced individuals turn small issues into big ones. Those with skills resolve things peacefully. Self-learning and adaptability. The world changes every month. No one will hold your hand forever. To survive, you must constantly update yourself and sharpen your own tools. A good soft skill can multiply your value as a person by 5 or even 10 times. A skilled worker can get paid well, but someone who is not only skilled but also knows how to speak, persuade, and inspire will be chosen as a leader. 4. Experience and accept mistakes. When you're young, the worst thing isn't making mistakes, it's being too afraid to do anything at all. Fear of being wrong, fear of embarrassment, fear of being judged. Those fears turn you into someone who knows everything but does nothing. I once met a young person, 27 years old, with a packed resume. Used to work in marketing, sales, content collaborator, ads runner, real estate sales. But when I asked in detail, none of the jobs had any real substance. I asked, "Why did you do all of that?" They replied, "I was afraid to commit to one thing and then fail. I wanted to try everything." But the issue isn't trying many things, it's not sticking with anything long enough to go deep. What does deep experience mean? It doesn't mean doing 10 things at once and quitting halfway. It means daring to step into a real environment, making real commitments, staying long enough to truly understand how that profession works. Deep experience also means let yourself encounter many different situations. Working at a big company has its perks, but working at a small company lets you try more things. Freelancing gives you freedom, but full-time jobs teach you discipline and teamwork. Take part-time jobs, project-based work, even unpaid work, as long as it gives you real-world experience. Before 30, you need enough experience to know what kind of environment suits you. What do you enjoy doing? What are your strengths and weaknesses? How costly can a mistake be, and how can you avoid repeating it? Why do I always say accept trial and error? Because the older you get, the more expensive your mistakes become. At 40, you'll have family, kids, living expenses, and stacked responsibilities. Changing careers, trying new jobs, or starting over will feel like a massive shock. But when you're 20 to 30, all you have to lose is time and youthful energy. And those things are far more valuable than money. How do you experience deeply? Give it your all. Don't just do things halfway. Always ask, what am I learning from this job? Write down your mistakes and failures. Don't repeat them. Learn from those ahead of you, but make your own decisions. Connect and observe. Often the lessons come from colleagues, bosses, and clients, not just the work itself. 5. Health and relationships. Here's something funny. When we're young, most of us think health is a given. Staying up late, drinking coffee instead of water, sitting still for 10-12 hours a day, thinking we're still young. Then one day your body starts to push back. Constant fatigue, stomach pain, back pain, anxiety disorders, even depression. At that point, no matter how much money you have, it's just being spent to buy back what you should have preserved. Taking care of your health isn't just for fitness buffs. It's long-term insurance so you can go the distance. Spend 30 minutes a day moving your body. Schedule a full health checkup 1 to 2 times a year. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Learn to manage stress. Don't let pressure silently erode your mind. None of these things cost much money, but the price of laziness is 1,000 times higher. One thing never changes. Money and knowledge help you grow, but relationships help you survive. In your 20s, you might have 100 drinking buddies. But by 30, you'll realize the number of people willing to share opportunities, give honest advice when you're lost, can be counted on one hand. Be selective. Who you hang out with, work with, trust, it matters. Don't be afraid to lose toxic relationships. Keep close those who are willing to tell you the truth, correct you when you're wrong, lift you up when you fall. Building relationships doesn't mean the more, the better. It means offer value. Give before expecting to receive. Help others grow, and they'll remember you. I've seen many job offers, collaborations, even startup opportunities that came simply from a sentence like, "Thanks to you, I learned about this." Many people work for 5 to 7 years but can't maintain a single relationship. In the end, they're still alone in the middle of a crisis. Remember, family is the root. Don't forget to care while you still can. Kind friends, don't neglect them just because you're busy. Good colleagues, don't just see them as people who share the same office. Before turning 30, learn to build a quality network. People who will help you get back up when you stumble. Turning 30 is not a destination. It is a milestone for you to ask yourself, am I ready to enter the next 10 years of my life? Everything you do before 30 is the foundation for the rest of your life. Ask yourself, in 5 years, when I look back on my youth, how do I want to feel proud of the way I lived? Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you find this sharing helpful, please save it and share it with other young people who are still struggling to find their direction. And don't forget, no one else can live your life for you. Do the right thing while you still can. See you again in the next content on my channel. Please subscribe and stay updated with the latest videos.